I've never found a love like this. There it is. I've never found a love like this.
Hello everyone, welcome back to E20 Zone TV. Sorry about the dodgy collar, but I will sort that out shortly. It is Friday and the weekend is slowly upon us. And let's talk some transfers in this Rumour Has It show. Well, what is going on at West Ham? Arthur Masuaku looks like he's finally heading out of the club and he's heading all the way to Turkey, to Besiktas, I believe it is. Now, for me, this has been a long time coming. Do you know what I mean? We've needed this man to leave for a long, long time because this man has been truly horrendous. He really, really has. I'm not going to lie. There's been certain games where he just cannot defend. And for me, we need a defender. And he's just definitely not one of them. So Arthur's going all the way to Turkey and hopefully in a loan deal with a view to a permanent in the summer next year. Before I bring my guest on, honestly, I don't know anything good to say about Arthur Masuaku other than the goal against Chelsea, which was a fluke at best. So, yeah, it's been a mixed bag. He's been here a long time. He's been here since 2015, I believe. I remember it, 2015 summer, that we signed this man. And for me, yeah, it's time to say bon voyage to you, Arthur. But you know what? I'm not going to go in on him, even though he has been horrendous for us. It just hasn't worked out. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. Anyway, let's bring on this man who's in the know. Ain't you West Ham Online? You're in the know, bruv. I hear. How are you doing?
Well, I was doing all right, and then I've gone ordered some food. Thought, there's some barbecue sauce, so I'll take my shirt off so I don't get anything down my white shirt. Can't find it. Don't know where it's gone.
He can't find his shirt, people. Like SOS3 shirt, everyone in the house. You know what I mean? West Ham Online. What do you make of Arthur Masuaku being loaned out to Besiktas, possibly?
Yeah, I think it's a good deal because it's freeing up wages. Nobody would want to buy him, really. And I actually think he'd do decently in Turkey. So maybe he'll play well enough for them to pay 5 million or 4 million to get him. And also, I know people like to say about squad depth, which is very true. But when you've got someone like that, it's like bad squad depth, if you know what I mean, because he's that bad. So I'd literally rather one of the kids play than him half the time. So I really don't care. In fact, it's probably a good thing because it means that if the left backs get injured, Moyes can't pick him.
Yeah, I agree. Give me one of your few fond memories of Arthur Masuaku, mate.
Well, I'll say 3 fond memories I've got of him. 1, the Chelsea goal, obviously, which he didn't mean, but the goal anyway. 2, last year, start of the season, I've got to give it to him, as bad as he is. He had 2 outstanding performances at left wing back against Leicester and Wolves, which I thought he was very good in. So then, and also that period in 2016-17, or no, 2017-18 when we got Moyes and we were absolutely terrible. And Masuaku had like a 10-game run where he wasn't brilliant, but he was just doing loads of skills and it was funny to watch. So I suppose that.
And by that, it's short and sweet. Well, we'll move on and hope the Arthur moves on. But obviously, I looked at the news that I was doing the thumbnail for this show tonight. I thought Zielinski was a target for West Ham, and it's emerged that he's not no more. West Ham have pulled the plug on it. I'm not convinced. I think West Ham and Napoli will come to some sort of arrangement. I think West Ham are playing hardball, and I think Napoli might buckle under the pressure. What do you make of what you've heard about Zielinski, mate? And do you think it is the end for him in regards of being touted for West Ham?
I don't think it's the end. I agree that the clubs will try and come to an agreement, but anything over 32 million really is ridiculous in my opinion. I think he's a very good player.
Yeah,
certainly not world class. He's good in possession, but he definitely doesn't do enough in the final third to warrant over a 35 million fee for a 28-year-old, which will have no resale value, especially when at the second half of last season he had quite poor form apparently. So he's a good player. He's very, very good player, but there's limits to it, and I think there's better deals out there personally.
How much do you reckon West Ham went in with?
30 million pound.
And how much do you reckon they want? 35?
About 37.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, isn't it? It's a lot of
Yeah.
money. You know what I mean? It's a lot of money for a player who really is coming. Well, he's only going to go downwards, and he ain't going to go upwards. So, yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with it. Don't get me wrong, I am. I think Zielinski would be a good attacking midfielder for West Ham. I really do mean that. But you know what? It is. It's a shame, but we move on, and we move on to this man, which is Kostic. The day has arrived. West Ham online. He has to decide what he's going to do. What do you think he's going to do?
Well, yeah, I'm just eagerly waiting on X to tweet that news out. No, put it on Patreon, sorry, and hopefully it happens on this show because then I can do an update. But I'm going to be ambitious. I'm going to say he's going to agree to join. I don't think that him agreeing to join now, if that's what's happening, if at West Ham are genuinely in a meeting with him and his agent right now,
Yeah.
I think even if he agrees it, you can never say no with transfers because obviously he's a very good player. He's already rejected 2 Champions League clubs. Another club could come in last minute and we could be saying goodbye. But I do think he'll accept our proposal. Apparently, we're offering him a very healthy wage increase. And at the end of the day, as much as he could play Champions League with Frankfurt this year, I think he's going to realistically think in his head, I don't think we're going to get past the quarters, and that's the absolute best. Like, genuinely, that's the best they can do. And then I also think he'll want to play in the Premier League and get a final payday, basically.
How important is it that we make sure we get this man over the line, mate? Because I'm going to be honest, if we don't get him over the line, I'm worried straight away. Because I'm thinking, who is going on that left-hand side?
Yeah, it's very important, especially when he's a player of huge quality. I used the same analogy for Zielinski the other day, and don't get me wrong, as much as I've said I wouldn't pay a huge amount for Zielinski, I think he'd start for at least 14, possibly 15 of the Premier League teams. And I think Kostic, it's a bit of a weird one because teams play, not a lot of teams play a 3 at the back, but I think even as a wide midfielder, he'd start for at least every team below us in the league, and maybe 1 or 2 higher. He'd definitely get in the squad. So, yeah, I think he's a tremendous player. We saw that when he played us at the London Stadium, especially, and he got an assist within about 4 seconds. And yeah, it's massive because the second option that I keep hearing is Luke Thomas, and he's crap.
Here's a good question for you, and I like Jazza because he comes on the spaces. West Ham online. Ain't we annoyed that Lingard wanted a final payday? So why ain't we annoyed with Kostic doing the same?
Well, because the difference. Let me give me literally about 4 seconds to think about it. Right, here's why. Lingard gave us his word that he would join the club. Lingard also has signed a 1-year contract at Nottingham Forest. He could have joined us and he could have got a healthy wage, and he had such a great time at us. Whereas in comparison, Kostic, the alternatives, clearly he doesn't feel off as much on the pitch as well, which one of them being staying at Frankfurt. And he's not given anyone his word yet. He's going to give the word soon. But I've no problem with a player who wants more money. They just need to do it in the right way and at the same time make sure it's a good career move. Kostic will still be joining a club on the up, a club at a similar level to one he's at, but in a better league, whereas Lingard has joined a newly promoted club in Nottingham Forest and given us his word that he would join.
Yeah, I think you summed that up absolutely first class on me, to be honest. And do you know what I mean? I don't always agree with you on things, but I must admit I agree with you on that. For me, what you said was absolutely bang on. With Lingard situation, this has been going on for a year. With Kostic, it's been going on for about 2 weeks. So it's a bit of a
Yeah.
difference. It's a bit of a difference there. For me, in regards of Kostic, we need this man at this club. There's no two ways about it. Do you know what I mean? We really do. We need this man to come in. We need this man to be the left-sided player. We need this man. And if West Ham don't sign this man, I am concerned, West Ham Online, because I just
Yeah.
don't know. Right, unless they are absolutely certain that this man is coming to the club, why would you allow Masuaku to go? Even though we'll want Masuaku to go, don't get me wrong, but unless you've got a replacement, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm just reading what Piperless Cast has just put on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lancashire. No, I'm not. I'm from
He's not from Lancashire.
Essex.
Do you know what I mean? But that's the way I look at it with that. Anyone else spring to mind, West Ham Online, if this man does not go through? Scarborough Hammer there says Cornet as a backup. Is he going to be playing tonight? Like, Burnley are playing in the next hour. Is he even in the squad? I don't even know if he's in the squad or not. So, like, who's it going to be if it ain't Kostic, mate?
Yeah, that's a good point about Cornet, but I don't think personally if we sign Cornet, it'll be a permanent wing back. I don't think we change the system for Cornet because he's nowhere near as good a wing back as Kostic. He's not even as good a player as Kostic. I think personally the priority will be if we don't get him to get a left back, and if that left back is Luke Thomas, we may as well stick with Creswell.
Yeah. Someone says here, yeah. Gary says here. Need better Cresswell. Basically, we need a left back, mate. And I don't know for the life of me what they're playing at West Ham in regards of waiting so long for a left back to come to the club. I know you say it on the spaces with me and all the others. You say the left back market is poor. Now, for me, right, I understand that, but there has been targets that have just gone by, haven't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's been a couple of targets that have gone by that we could have taken up. But at the same time, I said it on the space, and I've got to say it again. I do admit and acknowledge that the left back market is absolutely horrendous. And to be honest, I think when I look at the quality of left back in the Premier League, there actually isn't as many that are better than Creswell than you'd think. And that's not me complimenting Creswell. But yeah, I think Creswell's definitely slowing down. He lost us the Europa League game against Frankfurt last year. Well, in my opinion. And yeah, we definitely need a new left back.
Yeah, I agree. So we're talking about players leaving. Masuaku's leaving. Diop wants to leave. Who else is leaving West Ham Online?
Masuaku, Diop, possibly Vlasic. I still think Vlasic will go before the end of the window. If I was to put money on it, I'd say yes. Ben Rama's going to stay, definitely. Lanzini will stay. Yeah, I think that will be it, to be honest. Everyone else that I look at, I think they'll stay. Maybe at the exception of Darren Randolph.
Yeah. I don't know. I've got a funny feeling that a big player might leave. Not sort of Declan or Bowen, but someone like a Souček or even a Ben Rama, mate. I really can. That's coming from me. I just want to say this, yeah. I think that's Jordan. He said, "I'm sure you've been asked this a lot, but what's the minimum position you would like West Ham to finish this season?" For me, Jordan, yeah, it's quite simple. Top 10 has to be the minimum. Has to be, yeah. And really, if we're going to go places, we have to break into that top 6 this year. I think we can do it. I think we've got the personnel to do it. But the next 10 days will really decide where West Ham are going to be heading, in my opinion. It really does. I think if we don't get a left back at this club in the next 5 weeks, there's something wrong. But at the start of the season, I would expect a left back to at least some sort of left-sided player to be here. Now, that's Kostic, then great. If that's someone else, then great.
Yeah.
But we need someone at left back. And for some crazy reason, this board, and even Moyes to a point, has to take accountability for this, they just can't seem to find a left back on the planet. Do you know what I mean? It's amazing, really. Do you know what I mean, West Ham United?
Yeah, it is like I do think that we desperately need a left back. Even if we get Kostic, I think we need a left back. But I just can't think of one. There definitely is people out there because you're not going to have 7 billion people on the earth and not one competent left back. But yeah, we definitely need one. Just to go off the topic quickly, not only for a second, pipeless cast. Could you explain what proper gentrified Yeo man means? Sorry, I don't understand what that means, but
Well, I don't know either. Mr. E20, what European town is Hornchurch most similar to? I'm tempted to try and stay there for the weekend. Cool, I don't know, mate. I don't know. It all depends how you feel, pipers, mate. 100%. Hornchurch is not a bad nightlife. I won't lie to you, but there was a bit of a stabbing there the other week, so make sure you wear your vest. That's what I'm going to say on that. Harry says, James Fever, you are featured in some of my shows. Good, mate. I'm getting about, Harry. Trust me. When I make it, and I will take all the boys with me. So yeah, you keep promoting me, bruv, and I'll keep rolling deep. So that's it. And
thunder and
basically, when I look at it in sort of the grand scheme of things now, is that we've got what 9 days? Is it 9 days until the start of the season? Right? How fast does that come around now? Standard line.
Yeah, rapid. I can't believe it. Well, to be fair, the last game of last season, I saw someone say today it felt like a week ago. To me, it feels ages ago because it was the same day my football season ended, and that feels ages ago as well. But at the same time, the last couple of weeks in terms of West Ham doing business has gone so fast. It feels like time's closing in on us, and we don't have long left to get players ready for the season. Good that we got Skamaka, but we definitely need someone on the left hand side.
Yeah, I agree. And that left hand side could be this man. I'm not going to say his name, but I think you know who this man is because you mentioned him on the space. It's all about money, though, West Ham Online, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah. Obviously, we do have a somewhat limited budget. It's a good budget, don't get me wrong, but I'm not sure we'll buy Kostic and Estupinan. But I do really rate him. I knew about him years ago because I was good friends with a Watford fan, and he actually used to play for Watford, but he couldn't get a work permit, so he kept going on loan. And he got in the La Liga team this season at Osasuna, and that was when Marcelo was in his prime. That sort of shows how good he is. He's a very good crosser of the ball, strong defensively. He's very, very underrated because I barely hear anyone mentioning him. But yeah, he's been around for years and he's a very, very good player. Watford fans wanted him in their team for years, but he couldn't get the work permit.
Oh, how bitter is that? As a player of that caliber and not being able to play him. That says it all to me. What we've got here? East side views: Manchester City, Forest, Brighton, Villa, Spurs, all losses and relegation. That's one East side views. Ever the optimist. What else have we got here? Even though I'm happy with the transfer business so far, I still don't think we have enough. Would you agree, West Ham Online?
Well, yeah, I completely agree. I'm happy so far with what we've done, but obviously we need more because at the end of last season, the left back position was looking very dodgy, and as far we haven't improved it. And also, we definitely need someone in midfield, whether that be Onana or a creative midfielder, which is what I'd prioritise. I would say go for Kamada from Frankfurt, but to be honest, I don't think they'd want to sell their two best players in one window to us. I think that would be stupid. So it's not going to be Kamada, whether people like it or not, despite how good he was against us and the Lynx. I think we need to go for someone who can contribute in the final third and is a very good creator.
I totally agree. I don't know what it is with West Ham at the minute, but it seems like every time we play a team, we want to buy their players, which is fascinating. We just can't seem to scout players on their own for some crazy reason. I'm going to ask you this because I'm going to try and make this video short and sweet. But next week, we play against City, right? How many players are we signing before the City game, mate?
One, it will be Kostic, and that'll be it. We won't sign anyone else. We'll get close to one or two, maybe, but they won't sign. They'll just sort of be ready to sign, if you get what I mean. But they certainly won't sign in time, in my opinion, to be in the squad.
Yeah. Does Kostic start for you next week?
Probably not because he would have played literally 0 pre-season games. I wouldn't mind it at the same time because obviously players come in January and start straight away like what Lingard did, like what Bowen did. And if Moyes thinks he looks ready in training and he's already linking up well, then yeah, go for it. But at the same time, I don't really think Man City's the game for Kostic. I'd like to see him playing it, but at the same time, it's not the end of the world if we don't play him in that one, I think.
Yeah. I'd like Kostic to start next week. I think if you're going to play this man, you might as well play him against the best team. I think all this about giving them time to bed in and all that. I think they're good enough. They should play.
Yeah.
I really do mean that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
Dangerous is in the house. Hello, Dangerous. Hope you're all well, mate.
James, do you get this quickly? Pipeless cast, but sure, sir. The gentrified Geo man is one rank below the country genter and above the shape croppers in the Lancashire open field system.
Whatever Pipeless says, I agree with, mate. That's what I'm saying on that. You know what I mean? Pipeless is a legend of the game, but so is Gary also, and this comment's good. Still need at least 4 more players, and then we're good to go. Who are the 4?
I wouldn't say we need 4. I'd love 4, and it would make us better. But if we were to get 4, just quickly, I'd go Estupinan, Onana, Ismail Assar, and a creative player I can't think of. I don't have one striker in my head. Yeah, I'd take a backup striker, but I don't think it's a massive worry. I must admit, I'm sort of starting to conform with what you've been saying, and I think Sarr as a third choice striker wouldn't be the end of the world.
I think Sarr's. Listen, me and you've done the spaces, and we've done things on Twitter and social media in regards to West Ham, and I think a lot of people don't give Sarr a lot of credit. I think someone said it to me in the chat, or I think it might have even been you or something. Yeah, and they said, "How can a man progress and get better if he's getting a manager every 6 months?"
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, he's always changing systems as well.
He's changing systems. He's changing the way they play, if they're playing counter attack or on the front foot. It's just constant all the time. So for me, I think Sarr's for the right money. Obviously, I think someone mentioned it the other day about 35 million. I went, no, not for me. I won't pay 35 million for him. I paid 25 million for him though. I get what Scarborough's saying. I'd rather Dennis. Sarr gets injured a lot. I agree on that. I really do. People say about, would Dennis come and want to be third choice? Dennis would be coming to a European side, fighting in the top half of the league. I think he would take that with open arms. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I do agree. I think he'd want to come, not on the premise of being a third choice striker, but also a winger, on the left hand side. Just on what Scarborough Hammer says there.
Yeah.
I'd rather Dennis Sarr gets injured a lot. I get what he's saying, and don't get me wrong, if the fee is ridiculous for Sarr, I'd rather Dennis too. But I don't think people realise just how good Sarr is. I think when he was younger at Rennes and his first season at Watford, when he was played under the right manager, he was mustard, like Jared Bowen sort of levels at that time. And everyone was talking about him. And I don't know who his agent is. I think I've said this to you before, James, but whoever his agent is, he should have given him the sack for getting him a move to Watford at a young age as a pacey winger.
I could not believe that he went to Watford. This man was touted for Liverpool, Man United, some of the big clubs, and how he ended up at Watford, I don't know. But I've got to be honest. It was amazing. Pipeless, where did Mr. E20 and West Ham Online? Where did you first meet? Well, it was love at first sight. Pipeless, I've got to admit. Do you know what I mean? He loved West Ham as much as I did, and I thought, you know what? He's a top man. I'll get him on this channel. So, Pipeless, that answers your question.
We started at Falls from Iron, and then I made a channel for about 10 minutes, and James that was doing shows at the time with my friend Jeremy. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Who was a Man United fan actually, but they were doing shows for a while, and then James was on that old channel that he had. And then he made this, which has been a great success.
Yeah, I agree. This is going in the right direction, and it's all help from everyone. You know what I mean? And I always say that. Um, Kane's in the house. West Ham Online. Percentage of confidence we sign Kostic.
I always say with transfer percentages, people say a deal's close-ish and then say like 90%, but I'm not like that. I think when you say a transfer is close, it means above 50. That's how
Yeah.
I look at it. I'd still go about 50-50 at the moment because we
Mm.
don't have a clue. If he says yes, then yeah, great. If he says no, then we got no chance. So
Someone messaged me earlier on and said to me, James, they sent me they sent me a like a WhatsApp message of interaction between him and I think it was someone related to the club. And they said that Costis was apparently there today and it's a 50-50. That's what he said. He said, well, what's the chances? And underneath the message was 50-50.
got the same
So,
message. Leon sent me that one.
yeah, I got it from someone else. So someone else sort of sent me the same sort of stuff. So whether that's true or not is remains to be seen. But if it's 50-50, it's not a bad, like, it's a toss of a coin, isn't it? Let's be honest. And if he wants to come to West Ham, then by all means, he's going to come to West Ham, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? As long as West Ham pay the money. So, do you know what I mean? But let's have a look. I'll quickly go through everything. Apologies to ask again, as I know not everyone perhaps wants to drop a like, but feel free. Really helps James grow his channel. So please, can all those who haven't smashed the like button. If you want to smash the like button, go ahead. It's Friday. Do what you please. If you don't, then no worries, mate. I mean, quite a joyous mood today, especially after last week. But we don't talk about that. Let's put it like that. Let's have a look. Where else we got here? I'm not confident with Kostic, to be honest, says Rob. I think, do you know what? I think he comes. I think he makes us a lot better on that left hand side. I will say that. But defensively, for me, I'm not convinced West Ham Online. I'll be honest with you.
I don't think he's great defensively, but he's just so good offensively that he makes up for it. We definitely still need if we're going to play a back five, then we got to make sure that left centre back is a top defender, and Naya Faguerd would have been perfect for that. Just a shame now he's injured. And quick call out for Claret and Hugh, said he's going to be back for Man City. What a lie from you lot.
Unbelievable, mate. Yeah, I knew he was out. I think I done it on this channel about last week. Someone who I spoke to sent it to me and said, James, he's out for about between a month and 3 months. And I knew that like last week even. Do you know what I mean? Unreal.
Yeah.
As an Arsenal fan, do clubs want Dwight McNeil to? Do you not feel that Josh Brownhill could do a job for a top club? Now, Dwight McNeil left, right? He left Burnley, went to Everton in a strange move. But Josh Brownhill, West Ham Online, would you have him as a backup midfielder? I don't think we need him. I think we've got Downs, and I think we need better than Brownhill if we're going to go places. So, is that a yay or a nay for you?
Print off the receipts of what you just said, because I was going to say the exact same thing. We got Downs, who's similar sort of player but younger. Yeah. We don't need Brownhill. That would be the most pointless move since Adam Collard rejoined Love Island.
yeah. I've got to be honest. I actually do agree with you on that. You know what I mean? Could I come on the channel and explain the similarities of Skamaka's holy Romanian tattoos? Pipeless. You do whatever you wish, bro. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I do like Pipeless. He's artistic. I love it. I do love it. Go places. What makes you think we go places with the current manager, James? East Side Views. All right. Have you got a question for East Side Views, West Ham Online? Because I'm going to ask East Side View a question. That why does he not think that Moyes isn't going to produce the same that he's done over the last 2 years?
East Side Views. My question is, who are you? Because every comment I've ever seen from you has been, even last year when I think it was mathematically impossible for us to get relegated, I think you were still saying we were going down. So
One thing I will say, though, one thing I'm going to say, which he was right about, this is why I can't knock him too much, is he turned around and he said that we ain't going to win another game for the rest of the season. And he was actually right, mate. We didn't win another game for the rest of the season. Like, I think it was after Norwich. I don't think we won another game. And so he was right there. I'll give him that. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I mean. Thank you very much. I hope you visit one of your spaces soon. I'll bring a bottle of wine along if you send me the address. Well, the address is Twitter. So punters, get yourself on Twitter, son. Go and find West Ham Online, number 5, and you can come on our spaces and discuss your art and your crafts and even your wine collection, because I'd love to hear it, mate. I do like pipeless, I must admit.
Pipeless, you would have loved it last night. Sir Daddy, who often comes on our space, got himself a date. However, there were certain question marks over the reliability of this date.
Yeah, very true, mate. That's me with Sir Daddy. Thunder, but James, how many does Eastside Views get wrong?
A lot.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm not going to tell him when he's right or wrong. Do you know what I mean? That's not down to me. But we will see what happens. Anything else, West Ham Online, you want to discuss before we wrap this up, brother?
Is there anything else we can discuss quickly? I just want a question for you and also for the chat. Scamacca and Antonio, let's say we're playing next season with a three-back formation primarily, or a 4-2-3-1. Do you start both? If it's a 3-back, do you start Antonio on the wing? And if it's a 4-2-3-1, do you play him out wide again? Or even if it's a 3-back, do you go for a front 2? What would you do?
I had this question earlier on today as it goes. I had to go on an Aston Villa channel with a lad who is a subscriber on here and really nice bloke. And he was asking me to talk about West Ham, and he asked the same question to me. The question is, I think Antonio and Scamacca, you need something off the bench. And I think one of them is going to have to go down that route off the bench, basically. I do like Antonio on the wing, though. I don't know why. I just think if you bring him on, last 20 on that left-hand side, he'll be a pain in the arse. He crosses balls in well. He's a very decent crosser, Antonio. He just can't finish. So, for me, can they play together? I think they can, but I don't think they can play like as both strikers. Because Antonio drifts all over the place, and Scamacca, from what the stats the man showed me today, he's an 18-yard box striker, in my opinion. So, it remains to be seen. It really will. What do you think on it before I get to the chat?
I keep seeing people saying about how Antonio was poor last time he was on the left, and I don't really get it because that was about 4 years ago, and he's completely changed as a player since. I think he's matured as a player since moving up front, and I think he understands football a bit better. I see his movements improved in terms of holding up the ball. He's a lot better now. He used to just spin in behind, but he's worked a bit on his hold-up play, and he'll never lose that crap touch that he's got. But I think he's a much more intelligent player, and I believe whenever he's drifted out to the left-hand side, he's done very well. And I think in some games that could be a source of creativity that we can use.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think West Ham will ever have another Bobby Moore? No. Legends are hard to find, mate. And I'll be honest with you, Bobby's a legend, mate. So, no, we won't have another one of them. Eastside Views is back again, and he says, Scamacca Haller 2.0.
Oh, God.
Oh, mate, I do love Eastside, mate. He's ever the optimist. As Scarver said, give it a rest, Eastside. What is the point? Well, there is no point on that. You start Antonio, especially if we have bought a left winger. I think that is from Kane. 0 points waiting to get back up, and then still have the same issue if no backup again. What do you make of that? What Kane's saying?
Well, I don't really get that at all, because surely just because we bought a striker in, that doesn't mean we have to completely eradicate the other striker and just say to him, you're a backup, and always worry about injuries. The point is now, if Antonio does get injured and say he is playing on the left, we still have Skamaka up front and Fornals and Ben Rama on the left. So, okay, we're probably bringing the injury risk up a little bit, but we'll probably get more points in reward.
Yeah, I agree. I've got to say this. Partners, you'd love Twitter, mate. Trust me. I've seen your Twitter in the chat. Get on Twitter, mate. You'll love it. Right, you will listen. You will not stop doing the spaces, mate. 100%. And he says about is Daddy his real name? Reminds me of the Mongolian sheep farmer who gave his fields to the war veterans. Well, fair enough, mate. Fair enough.
No, it's not his real name. He gets called.
Yeah,
Sir Daddy. He gets called Sir Daddy by his
he's.
brother.
I will tell you this little story quickly, yeah, because we're having like sort of a Friday night sort of chat, yeah. But the reason why he's called Sir Daddy, and he's not in my chat now, but he's a subscriber to this channel, is because his brother called him Sir Daddy. So I just want to say that quite clear. It's his brother that called him Sir Daddy. He's from Atlanta, Georgia. I must admit, he's a passionate West Ham fan, but he's raving mad. I will say that. I'm just going to say that. He is raving mad. Skamaka works his ass off, and he's generally an all-round forward that is only going to get better. I agree, totally. Look at his heat map. He drops deep and makes fantastic runs off the ball, and he's deceptively quick. I agree, mate. So when I see the stats from the channel that I was on previous year, his stats are phenomenal, really. In and around the 18-yard box, this man stays there. And I've said this a few times, I think I even said it on the spaces, that if you get this man playing like Ruud van Nistelrooy, and Ruud van Nistelrooy was his mentor at PSV, we've got a top player. You know what I mean? So I do feel the fan base can't knock this man yet. Like I see people saying like he's a Haller 2.0. Someone said it the other day, oh, is he another Zaza? I'm thinking, this man hasn't even got in the building yet, and people are knocking him. I think it's just totally wrong, really. What do you make of that? I've seen that on a few channels. Shaw of United would be a good loan.
No, it won't happen because he's already, despite them bringing in Cyril Malacia, Ten Hag has said how impressed he is with him. He's done okay when he's played in pre-season, and he's still a valuable asset on a high wage, like ridiculously high wage, 220 grand a week. And I imagine United would want us to pay at least 80% of that, like what we did with Lingard, if we got Shaw in, which is at least 180 grand a week for Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
So, no.
Yeah, I tell you what, the left back market, the more you go into it, and the more that we've done the spaces and we speak to different people, fascinates me how really there's not really a lot of talent out there on the left hand side. Like the left, like being left footed is quite unique, really. And to try and find a decent left back, you've got to pay literally mega money. Do you know what I mean? To try and get someone who's pretty decent. Do you know what I mean? It's not a disguise, it's just a quote. My apologies for that false information, Mr. E20's own TV. Piperless, you don't have to apologise for me, mate, because you are the king of the game, bruv. That's what you are, 100%. You're the king of the game. But just get on Twitter, Piperless. You love it, mate. Yeah, man. As long as you like to speak. I mean, but yeah, we're probably going to wrap it up there. Do you know what I mean? It's been quite an entertaining show, I must admit. Do you know what I mean? I've got to be honest. It's been quite entertaining. I thought I'd just do this quickly. Before you go, West Ham Online, we spoke about it earlier. 9 days to go, to the start of the season. Are West Ham ready? Like really for City, or are we going to be scrambling about to try and makeshift a team? You know what I'm
saying? We're not ready to beat them. We've not been great in pre-season, but it's very hard to be ready for Man City. I think we'll show up. I think we'll play well because it's the first game back of the season. Positivity will roar around the London Stadium. And I think we, at best, will get a draw, if I'm honest. We'll probably lose, but it is hard to be ready for Man City, and I do respect that.
Yeah. John says here, West Ham are not ready for City, but we will be up for it. I agree. I don't know. I've got a funny feeling West Ham are going to turn up against City. I don't know why. I really do. Do you know what I mean? I can
Pipeline
just sit.
said. Look what Pipeline said.
Well, can you do spaces on LinkedIn instead? I have many eager connections. Well, I don't think you can type this if I'm being honest, mate. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Transfer news, people. Yeah, West Ham are looking for players, and we are going for top players, and that is down to Rob Newman. I can't stress enough how good Rob Newman is as a sort of scout. Right, he's got Skamaka in. Excuse me. Kostic is another one that he's looking at, and hopefully we get him in. If we don't get Kostic in, then I'm worried. I'm worrying beyond belief. Trust me, because that left hand side is just all over the place. There's nothing on that left hand side at all, and the balance of the team is completely out. But it will remain to be seen. Anyway, please do smash a like on the video, and listen, please do subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And if you want to, also, you don't have to, but I would like you to. So yeah, do you know what I mean? And anyway, enjoy your weekend. I'm going to try and do something on Sunday night. Yeah, because Mondays from now on I'm going to be busy. So on Sunday night I might do a Have Your Say with Mitchell, West Ham Online, Lucas, and the rest of the gang, and we'll see what happens over the weekend. But from me to you and from West Ham Online, take it easy out there, yeah, because it's a week today that I found out the news about Peach, and as the week's gone on, for me, it hasn't changed my thoughts on the man. The man's going to be a legend in my eyes. But just think about what you say to people and how you treat people at the end of the day. And listen, life's just too short. So take care of each other, and I'll see you again in the next one.